not to keep a motherfucker around. So don't ever get it twisted. Don't act like, oh, she's just stuck. I ain't stuck. Bitch, I'm rich. Buka.
3 weeks later.
Rick and Lana, this is where it all happened late last night. 4 armed suspects entering into that home. The homeowner who wasn't home at the time saw some security footage of those 4 men inside her home. She then reached out to a friend who confronted the suspects before a shootout occurred. And as police officers arrived on scene, they spotted a silver Lexus speeding away. A high-speed chase unfolded as armed men raced toward Chamblee, concluding with a crash about 3 miles away near a CarMax dealership. One of the suspects, 19-year-old Albert Burns, exited the car with a gun before being shot by Brookhaven police. He was rushed to the hospital, now listed in critical condition.
Just a couple of weeks ago, rapper Kash jumped on live to tell everybody she was single, not even 30 days after having her second child with Tracy T. On that previous live, she was her typical self, gloating about buying Ralph Lauren socks for a newborn baby and the texture of her newborn's hair, confirming her own underlying issues, which led to her getting with a 3-time baby daddy to have 2 more kids with him herself for his skin color and texture of his hair, and then complained online about her relationship when it was over. In that video I covered here, Kash said she didn't need a man, she was rich. Yes, she got online and put that out there to all of her followers, but when she saw 4 men breaking into her Atlanta home, guess who she called first? No, not the police. She called her baby daddy, the same man she said she didn't need because she was rich.
GBI is investigating an officer-involved shooting following a late-night home invasion robbery in Brookhaven. One of the suspects was shot after leading police on a chase that ended in Chamblee.
Fox 5's Deidre Dukes is live at the scene of Thursday night's home invasion with the latest on the search for one of those suspects, Deidre.
Yeah, police telling us that 4 suspects broke into this house here in Brookhaven. They then were involved in a shootout with the victim's friend.
Every reporter said she called her friend to go to the house. FYI, that quote friend, that's Tracy T, the man she's got 2 babies with 2 and under.
They led police on a chase into Chamblee where 3 people were apprehended, a 4th suspect still on the run tonight.
It sounded like gunshots, so we looked outside and we saw like a car drive off.
Andrew Fisher captured this image of the suspect's vehicle fleeing the scene following the late-night home invasion robbery at his neighbor's house on the 2700 block of Caldwell Road. Police say the homeowner was looking at her home surveillance video when she saw 4 armed men inside the house. The woman called a male friend who drove to the residence and confronted the gunman before officers arrived. The man told Fox 5 off camera that he was rapper Tracy T.
And there it is. The reporter confirmed the friend she called to the house was Tracy T. That's the part that got me. Her thought wasn't to call the police. She called who? The same man she told 7 million people 3 weeks ago she didn't need?
I was on the phone and I heard like a crack, crack, crack. And immediately it was like, what's going on?
This neighbor, who asked us not to show her face, heard the shootout between the rapper and the fleeing suspects.
Heard a bunch more shots, so I called the police at 11. Shortly after, saw policemen lining the streets. Saw somebody put a marker on my driveway.
A responding officer observed the car leaving the neighborhood and pursued the vehicle into Chamblee. It wrecked along Peachtree Boulevard, and the suspects got out of the vehicle and ran off. Officials say an officer shot 19-year-old Albert Eugene Burns, who was reportedly armed. Burns was transported to an area hospital. Police tracked down 22-year-old Davion Harper and 18-year-old Tyson Kamari Kirksey in the area a short time later.
And that's another problem. These little pookies running around, terrorizing other black people. You better believe this was targeted and not random. No skills, no job training, just home invasions. Wonder who raised these pookies. Yeah, what value system are they operating on? It's sickening.
They were transported to the DeKalb County Jail.
Kind of crazy that it happened here. No one was hurt in that house, which is great, and the cops handled it well.
Now, the GBI is investigating the officer-involved shooting. At the same time, they're asking that anyone with information on the whereabouts of that suspect who is still on the run to give them a call.
The neighbor called the police. Kash Doll called the father of her children, the one all her fans called broke, after she told them she was rich and didn't need him. But he was good enough to call up to confront robbers and risk his own life to protect her Birkin bags? Let that sink in.
First today, a burglary call leads to a chase and shooting involving an officer. We've been following this story for you all morning. Police tell us one suspect was shot and 2 others have been arrested. Let's go now live to Ariana Manise, who's been following this story for us all morning. So, Ariana, what's the latest from police?
Jonathan, in the last hour, we got new information from the GBI about this home invasion that ended in a police chase and car crash here at the intersection of Chamblee-Dunwoody Road and Peachtree. Now, we're learning from the GBI that one of the suspects was shot by police and a 4th suspect is still on the run. Now, this started when Brookhaven police, they were called to a home on Caldwell Road around 11 p.m. for a home invasion. We're learning the homeowner was monitoring her home surveillance system when she noticed 4 armed men inside of her home. Now, she called a friend who drove towards the home and shortly after confronted the suspects. The suspects and the friend exchanged gunfire. Now, as the suspects were leaving the home, a Brookhaven police officer chased after their car. It ended when the suspect's car crashed near a utility pole. Now, all 4 suspects, they got out of their car and ran. The GBI says one of the suspects, a 19-year-old, had a gun. The responding officer shot the suspect, who continued to run, dropping 2 firearms as that suspect ran. Now, the officer fired again as the suspect tried to pick up those weapons. We spoke to Brookhaven police overnight, who detailed what happened after those shots were fired. Take a listen.
He tried to pull the vehicle over. The vehicle fled. There was a pursuit. That vehicle wrecked. 4 individuals inside the vehicle tried to flee. Multiple guns on scene in possession of those offenders. It resulted in an officer-involved shooting. That suspect is in the hospital, and 2 of those other offenders were apprehended.
And those 2 other suspects are 22 and 18 years old. Now, no officers were injured during this incident.
Yeah, they say nothing like this has happened before. One neighbor even telling us that she hid in her bathroom last night when she heard those gunshots. And Brookhaven police say now they're still searching for the 4th suspect involved.
It's a great neighborhood. It's very peaceful. There are a lot of kids.
That's why home invasion late Thursday shocked those living in this Brookhaven community.
Last night was surprising. Yeah, it's the first time that anything like that has happened around here. For the whole time that I've been here, I think all of the neighbors are kind of like, it like jolted them. Like everybody was really surprised that something like that would happen. But I think it's just probably like a one-off thing, random, unfortunate thing that happened.
Just next door, Orly Fisher and her family heard the commotion.
We heard like probably 15 to 20 gunshots. We actually hid in our bathroom when it happened because we just didn't know what was going on.
Look, Becky been telling all her friends ever since she was a part of a Boys in the Hood scene.
I know there's several weapons on scene. Several of them are laying on the ground right now, but I don't know all the details of all of them.
Fisher says she doesn't know her neighbors well, but wants them to know they have support after a scary night.
We're bringing them some cookies. Yeah, we feel bad. We think that they have like 2 little kiddos in there, and I just think they must be so afraid. So we just wanted to let them know that like the neighborhood has their back and we're behind them.
And we did ask people coming out of the home if they had any comments about what happened. They said they did not. Meanwhile, Brookhaven police will investigate the home invasion, and the GBI is investigating the officer-involved shooting.
Okay, so that's indeed Kash Doll's house. And yeah, she's got 2 kids, but thankfully no one was at home. Kash Doll was back in her hometown of Detroit, preparing for a performance she had in the city over the weekend.
If you want to make money, make some noise. If you want to go to school, make some noise. That ain't match up. That's when you gotta go to school to get the money. You gotta go to school to get the money, okay?
So today, I'm about to put y'all in my business. I normally don't put the internet in my business because I just feel like, you know, you share certain things and you keep certain things to yourself, right? But I've been violated bad since I've been in Detroit. I guess people was looking at my story and they see that I'm not home. And they found that this was the best opportunity to run inside of my house and get all my Birkin bags in Atlanta. However, that's cool. They got caught, you know. They got into a shootout with my child's father. And the police Got all of them. Got all of them. And we ain't took no L, you know? So it's a celebration, but it's also sad that it's black people that's just running inside of people's home trying to take their things. And what if my kids was there? What if my sister was there? What if my mom was there? What if Tracy was there asleep and y'all caught him slipping? They came in with guns. I'm putting y'all in my business today because I'm so upset that Ronnie Mayers, the community leader over in Brookhaven, and the block that I stay in, because you guys, I stay in a nice neighborhood, you know, where I'm the only black person on my block and the youngest person on my block, you know. And this man had the audacity to go to the news. Ronnie Mayers, he went to the news and told them that my house is a drug house because it's traffic and a lot of black people there, because it's always traffic. He just assumed that since it's nice cars and other black, nice, successful people pulling up, that's entertainers, that's friends, producers that have nice things as well, and there's a lot of traffic because I have 2 kids under 2, that I have drugs in my home. The sacrifices I make, how hard I work, everything that I do, for you to just associate me with drugs just because I'm young, black, and successful. That's crazy. That you went to the internet and you went to the news, and told the news that me and my child father is running a drug house.
Kash Doll was upset that the man said he believed her house was a drug house because there's a lot of activity there. You had a bunch of comments where people told Kash Doll to sue the man for his comment. She explained she was the youngest person and the only black person on her street. Okay, so can I keep it real right now? Kash Doll, do you realize that a shootout is not a normal occurrence in that neighborhood? She's not in the West End, Mechanicsville, College Park, Riverdale, Jonesboro, or the south side of Decatur. Nah, sad to say a report like this in those areas, it wouldn't be shocking. But this was Brookhaven. Her neighborhood is one, expensive, but it's also quiet. Nothing much going on outside of normal, safe living. Kash Doll attracted crime in this situation. And I say that because if you're familiar with her, you can attest that she's always showing off online. Her brand is synonymous with bragging, flogging, flossing, and being flashy like a lot of her peers. This is what they do, the foolish people, men and women in her industry. She'll show off super expensive Birkin bags on IG, then look dumbfounded when some low-life pookies run into her house to take everything she's got. Her running her mouth on IG, showing and telling everything, is exactly how these guys knew she wasn't at home. They didn't run in the neighborhood to steal from the white people they don't know. Pookie don't know them or what they got. He knew Keisha though. Yeah, he knew Keisha, aka Kash Doll, and what she had because she advertised it on social media. When Kash Doll told everybody about this incident at her house, you saw a lot of people commenting on her relationship, believing that because he was at her house, they must still be together. Listen, this is why I also tell young women all the time, avoid situations like that. Men too. If they have a baby that's less than 90 days old, you already know they're still connected to each other no matter what they tell you. I don't care if the child is 2, 5, or 10 years old. It's a strong possibility that something is still going on or something could pop off, especially when you enter the picture. Not worth the time or headache. It's a horrible situation. Don't do it to yourself. Go ahead and let these people have each other instead of allowing them into your life to bring you down. Now you have a lot of people saying Tracy T handled business because he got into a shootout with 4 men. It's amazing how anytime a black man is willing to crash out over nothing, you have a bunch of other black simps and black women cheering them on. Listen, nobody was in danger at that house. He literally went over there to confront 4 men with weapons over some Birkin bags and Ralph Lauren baby socks. Yeah, he ran into the house to protect some Birkin bags and socks. But your typical person listening to Kash Doll's story didn't even stop to soak that in. She didn't call the police, she called her baby daddy. And not to rescue his children, because his 2 kids he's got with her weren't even at the flipping house. In fact, no one was there. So what exactly was he going over there to protect? A bunch of materialistic junk? He went to her house to defend his baby mama's things. Not his kids, her things. All the things she said made her rich, so she didn't have to be with him. I'm sorry, that's not heroic. That's just plain stupid. First of all, in this case, where there's no one's life in danger, the first thing you need to do is call the police. They'll chase down the robbers. In this case, they had to pow one of them. That's his own fault, by the way. You don't run up in people's houses. But the police put one of them in the hospital. He's in critical condition, and they caught 2 others. Still looking for the 4th. And I'm expecting any minute now, they'll get him too. Back to Tracy T though. In my opinion, running into a house outnumbered over some Birkin bags is a crash dummy mission. Now, if he was already at the house and he had to protect his life, his kids' lives, people in the house, I get it. But in this situation, according to at least 4 different reports, no one was at the house. So you're crashing out over this woman's materialistic possessions that you're not with anymore, the same one that just embarrassed you, airing you out in front of 7 million followers the other week ago. It doesn't make sense. You're basically confirming that her materialistic possessions, like her Birkin bags, are worth more than you. Yeah, the things in her life are worth more than you being a father alive and available for your children. That's the truth nobody's gonna say. And last point for women like Kash Doll, the strong, independent, I don't need no man. If you happen to be at home and 4 men run up in there, I bet you will want that man there with you. Why? Because when your life is on the line, the money doesn't even matter. It can't shield you from evil. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Let me know what you think about this below. Special thank you to Elmer. I appreciate you, Elmer, for all of your support, as well as Gary and Ike Fob. Don't forget that you can support this channel as well. Links to Cash App and PayPal are below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel and don't forget to like and share.